Happy Tuesday!
Happy Tuesday for the tea.
Today is a lot of tea.
Well, tea of tea past.
It's his tea.
Yeah, exactly. We're taking a little history tea episode, we're gonna have a history tea episode.
Yeah, so we're gonna wind it back a little bit, and today we're not gonna talk about like what's going on right now. We're gonna talk about the past, what has happened before, and let's rewind a bit. Okay, so today's topic is gonna be about the biggest celebrity cheating scandals. Because they're human, they mess up, they're not perfect, and let's begin. Do you want to go first, or I'm like, who should we start with? The biggest ones, or the ones that are like not as crazy, or which ones affected you the most?
Okay, I have to say I went into like this deep hole. Like I was like looking up like previous scandals, cheating scandals, and then one that like I just kept reading about was the biggest scandal of Tiger Woods. Because like when it first came out, like I forgot what age I was, but I was younger and like I just knew about it and kept hearing about all these different women, but I didn't know the details. And when I was reading the details, I was like, this is some shit right here.
I'm so
Uh,
glad you brought up Tiger Woods because I think I was in middle school or maybe like really early high school at that age. And I remember a Christmas joke that someone said. So, what is the difference between Santa and Tiger Woods?
oh god, what?
Santa stops at 3 hoes.
Oh wait, I think I've heard this. This is so long ago.
Yeah, Tiger Woods cheated on his wife multiple times with multiple women.
By the end of it, which was like April 2010, he confessed to sleeping with 120 different women. And then, okay, I mean, I have to just go through these details because it's kind of like I didn't know all these when I was younger. But were you reading on it too?
I'm going off of my memory. I remember that he had cheated on his wife with like some porn stars, some like escorts and prostitutes. So it's like the number you get to 120, it's disrespectful.
It is like you were just a terrible person. But I mean, at this time, like at this time, Tiger Woods, like let's say 2000, 2009, 2010, around that time, Tiger Woods was just the face of golf. And he like was such a family man. He had such a wholesome image, and he was married to a former model. Her name was Ellen. They had two children together, and then so I want to focus on like when it was made known. So I guess before the Daily or before the Inquirer, um, that was the magazine that kind of exposed Woods and his affairs, or just one affair. And before that, of course, like news sources, they like celebrities know before a news source like exposes them. The Inquirer was talking about his relationship with like a club owner that he was having an affair with, and like that they exchanged sex together. And before the magazine came out, Tiger Woods called the club owner and had her talk to his wife and like to tell her like, oh my god, these aren't real, blah blah. And then they had like a 30-minute phone call, his wife and the club owner, about like how these are all just like rumors and stuff and they're not real, blah blah blah. And like Woods thought like after that like everything was fine, like she seemed fine. But that day, that or the next night was Thanksgiving, and the Inquirer already came out, and she read it, and she went through his phone, and she texted the club owner as Tiger Woods, saying like, "Oh, I miss you. When am I going to see you next?" And then she said like, "Oh, I'm surprised you're still awake." And then she called the club owner and was like, "I knew it was you. Like, I know you guys are in the relationship. I know you're fucking my husband." And then she like said, "Oh shit," and she hung up. And then she started waking up Tiger Woods, and like frantically, like of course, like accused, like telling him like you've been caught. And he grabbed his phone, ran to the bathroom, and started texting the club owner. And then she was just banging on the door, and then finally like he got out, and she grabbed the phone and she looked at his last text, which his last text said like the word divorce, and it was to the club owner, and she freaked out and like grabbed a golf club and chased him out the house, and he ran into his Escalade and like got into a car accident, and just from there it was downhill. And all these women started to come out, and apparently his wife was on like the fence about divorcing him until the 15th woman came out, and it was the daughter of their like a close by neighbor who they met when she was 14 years old.
Predator alert.
Yeah, when I read all those details, I was like, oh my god, I did not know this. And wow, just like someone who you thought was like such a wholesome person and just have like a whole nother life.
Tiger Woods was definitely on my list of biggest celeb cheating scandals because he just had so many women. Like the number was just like it was infamous. It's something you don't want to be remembered for.
Exactly. And now that's like what you think of. You think of him being the golfer, but like also having like hundreds of women that he was cheating on with his wife. So
Disrespectful. Okay, I don't know why I am leaning towards to talking about Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson.
yes, this was also on my list.
Um, Twilight is having its moment again because it is available on Netflix, you guys. You can watch it all at the movies. And I remember like them being together was just like a pop culture moment. The fans were obsessed. They were playing Bella and Edward Cullen in the movie, and of course their love interest in the movie, and then when their love interest in real life too. I don't know why, but the fans go ballistic over it. I wasn't too crazy because I think I was team Jacob, so I was like, whatever.
I know, because like her and Edward were too toxic anyway.
Exactly. So they were together for years. Like they had multiple movie premieres, multiple movies done together, and it's seen there's pictures of Kristen Stewart in a car in a truck with I think her director at the time, and obviously they're making out, and it seems like he was going to third base on her, so it was just like
This is the director for Snow White and the Huntsman, right?
yeah.
Yeah, so it was like another movie she was making.
Yeah, so I was like when that came out it was just wow. It was terrible, and I feel like people really, really felt bad for Robert Pattinson at that time, and I was like, I feel for him because, man, like people really thought they were gonna like be together forever. But that cheating scandal was, at the same time, it was devastating. Like it's not fun to learn about that kind of stuff, but at the same time, I feel like it set her free because now I feel like she's a little bit more open with her sexuality. So maybe it was good for her.
Yeah, and I also think like it was better too because people stand them so much. Like, let's say if they were to have like a regular breakup, like it just didn't work out, and they started dating other people, like people would still push them to be like together. But because it was a cheating scandal, I think that actually like was like, okay, never mind, they don't work out.
Hmm.
But I actually follow one YouTuber who said like who used to be a waitress before, and like one of the stories she told was she worked at a restaurant like where a bunch of celebrities would go to, and Rob Pattinson and Kristen Stewart were there, and this was like at the peak of like all the news coming out. But this is like she said like it looked like they were like trying to work it out because like they had like it was one of their parents were there, and it was the two of them, and she said like it was just the most awkward dinner looking at them, like there was barely any talking, they looked uncomfortable, and it was just really like really awkward, and she could tell.
And oh, that is the tea right there. Imagine being a waitress at a restaurant a lot of celebrities frequent. Oh, I would be the worst employee. I would try to talk them up and try to get something out of them. I know I would.
I know, especially like when they're in the middle of a scandal, like I can't believe they would actually be out in public first of all, but I guess maybe like to create an image or something.
They're trying to
But
save the Twilight franchise.
you know. Well, you know what? I mean, now the Twilight franchise, it's like just something to look back on. And like, I even took one day to watch all the movies. And I was just like, oh my God, it was just such a throwback to like what a time of vampires and werewolves.
I know. I think I want to rewatch it too because if you really think about it and you take a seat back and you kind of critique the movie, it's a terrible movie. Like it's just so bad that it's almost good. But I think I think when I read Twilight, I was in middle school. So if I was a middle schooler watching this, I'd be like, this is the most amazing movie ever. But the first movie had terrible makeup. But anyway.
Oh my god. Okay, I have to say, like, do you remember the last movie when that baby came out? And it had that CGI face?
No,
Dude,
I did not watch the last movie. I did
no!
watch New Moon. Okay, I will watch it now. For the sake of pop culture, I will watch Twilight this
Oh my
weekend.
god, I can't believe you didn't finish the franchise, dude. Okay, well, when you see it, you'll know what I'm talking about.
In your opinion, does the acting get better with each movie?
No. I mean, I just think of Kristen Stewart, and honestly, I don't understand how. To me, she's not a good actress. I don't get it. I don't get how she had so many roles.
See, I read the books, and in the books, it made it seem like Bella was like she's obviously not ugly in the books. She has pale skin, brown hair, but she has to be pretty enough for like almost 3 to 4 guys to want to date her, besides the wolf, the vampire, and I think 2 of her high school friends.
I
But
know, like, why
Kristen
was she like the
Stewart is just so like not like the pretty girl next door. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm like, she wasn't like hot where everyone would like be in love with her. Like, it didn't make sense.
Enough about Kristen Stewart.
That's our end rant. End rant.
Okay, the next scandal. Because he's been in the news lately, I decided that, you know what, let's drag him a little bit. Ben Affleck.
This was
Remember, he was married to Jennifer Garner, whom
like
I love because of Alias and also 13 Going
America's
on 13,
sweetheart. Jennifer Garner is.
right? And she has the best shoulders. I aim for those. So, Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner, they have 2 kids together and they were married for 10 years. Do you remember why they got a divorce?
The nanny.
It was the nanny. She was 28 years old. Oh my god, I could not believe it. What a scandal.
And also, didn't he have like alcohol problems? And I think I remember that, but I, gosh, everything's like I think, but I think I remember in an interview they were saying that that wasn't the cause of their divorce, the alcoholism. But I'm pretty sure his like actions and behavior because of the alcoholism could have probably also contributed. Just
Definitely, Ben Affleck definitely did have a little bit of a beer belly, like an alcohol belly. And isn't it crazy that he dated 2 Jennifers? I mean, he married one Jennifer, and then was that the first Bennifer? So it's when he's with J Lo, are they B Lo or are they Bennifer?
no, they're Bennifer as well. That's what the headline say. I know. I'm like, can we be a little like? Can we just please like differentiate between the two couples?
Exactly.
Yeah, but I just remember thinking like after that divorce, I was like, dude, he lost it because I remember he was looking really rough around the edges and like lost himself for a bit. But now he found himself in J Lo, so. But I mean, Jennifer Garner, I love her. My favorite story that I heard about her was I don't even know if I heard this from someone else or if I saw this like in a blog or something, but she was at the airport with her kids, and then someone like came up to her and was like, "Hey, oh my god, can I get a picture with you?" Blah blah, and she's like, "Look, I'm sorry. Like I would love to if any other day, but my kids are here, and I don't want them to think that this is normal for people to come up to people and like get a picture." And she's like, "I'm so sorry, but like not right now, not with my kids." And I was just when I heard that story, I was like, "Ugh, love her."
Yeah, I definitely do want to meet her just because I want a fangirl over Alias. And also, I would be like, what shoulder workouts do you do?
I did not watch Alias, but I know her for 13 going on 30, and that is a classic movie.
Okay, so now I want to talk about another Jennifer,
Oh gosh, who?
Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt.
Oh my gosh, how did I forget about this? This is like one of the top cheating scandals.
And it's still debated to this day, was it Angelina's fault or was it Brad's fault? And I feel like back then and a little bit of now, they always pit women against each other. But at the end of the day, Brad Pitt was a married man.
Mm-hmm.
And he did a movie with Angelina. And next thing you know, he's with Angelina, and they were together for years, and then they finally got married. So what a scandal!
Yeah, do we know how long Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt were together for?
They weren't married that long. Like they weren't. They
Yeah, but
weren't.
I just remember they were like the most beautiful couple. Like everyone like loved how good looking they were together. And they just seemed like Barbie and Ken like together. But and then like Angelina is like that badass bitch. Like the dark hair and just like this little I don't know, just the energy she brings.
Exactly. She exudes like sensual passion, sexiness, intelligence, mystery. But do you remember that Friends episode where Brad Pitt was the guest star?
I remember he did, but I don't remember the episode.
It's so funny because Brad, I forgot his name in Friends, but he and Ross were friends in high school and they had a I Hate Rachel club. And
Oh,
then next thing you know, like he comes over for Thanksgiving, and Jennifer's like, "Oh, Rachel's like, oh, he's kind of cute." And then Brad's like, he hates her in the show. And then he's like, "Ross, don't you remember when we had like I Hate Rachel pact?" And then he's like, I kind of dated her." It's just so funny because I think at that time they were probably married or together, and so they had to play like characters that hate each other. And have you seen this picture collage of how someone captioned it, Brad Pitt takes on the images of his partners, like he looks like them. Like I think he dated,
no.
what was that one girl? Not Claire Danes, and not the girl that's married to that rock star. He dated another blonde girl, and then in the picture he also had long blonde hair as well.
Are you talking about oh my god, the owner of Goop?
Yes, Gwyneth Paltrow.
Paltrow, yeah. I remember that.
Yes. So that I think that's just so funny. But anyway, that was a scandal. I'm like, oh my gosh. So when they finally got a divorce, I think last year, I think it just brought back so many things. And then Brad was seen like I think he saw Jennifer at an award show, and of course, a picture says 1,000 words. But in actual real life video, like they barely saw each other for like 1 second, and they went different ways. But it's just that iconic picture of them seeing each other. I think he like holds her hand or something by the wrist or the arm.
Oh, I really thought something was going there. When I saw that, I was like, oh my god, are they reconnecting again? But yeah, I was really shocked with Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt divorcing. Like, but then like they seemed to like really work out and they adopted all those kids together. So I was like, oh, like they're endgame. But yeah, that didn't happen.
Yeah, I think they have 3 kids together and 3 kids adopted. They have a pair of twins, and I think they have another daughter, and then they adopted 3 kids. So it's like a family of 6.
I wonder how
Yeah.
she is with all her kids now.
And it's crazy that that all started from him cheating on Jennifer Aniston.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith, dude. That was a good movie though.
That was.
The
I agree.
chemistry.
I agree.
I don't know if do you want to take a short break of what you're listening and what or watching? Do you have
Oh,
anything?
yes, sure.
Okay, because I want to talk about what I'm watching, which is Gossip Girl 2.0. I did you watch Gossip Girl?
Of course.
So, I mean, I wasn't planning to watch it, but I just heard so many people, I saw on Twitter people talking about like they had like critique, but they can't stop watching it. Guilty pleasures are my favorite. So, I decided to give it a watch and I I love it. And I think it is a little weird though how like it's so different with like social media and I don't know, there are just some things that are kind of off on it. Like, do you want me to spoil things for you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I guess it's not really okay. Anyways, but the teachers are Gossip Girl, and that's just like a little weird. But at the same time, I still live for the drama, and yeah, I just been loving it, and I'm gonna be watching on Thursday nights now, or just Thursdays on HBO, and that's all.
Okay. Yes, I definitely watched the original Gossip Girl. I think I rewatched it last year when the pandemic was like really beginning. And I'm just like, dang, like when it first came out in like 2003, 2014, I watched it when I was like a little kid, and at that point I was like, I love Blair and Chuck. And then last year when I rewatched it, I was like, yes, I still love Blair and Chuck. And I feel like Serena's character was just so pointless at times. I didn't like her character or her plot lines. Maybe she deserved better, or maybe she didn't. I don't know. But
Actually, though, Blair was my favorite.
she was iconic. She made the show.
Yeah. Oh, also, what I want to say about Gossip Girl 2.0 is that I feel like they could be a little more. I don't know. Maybe it's still too soon, but like I feel like the character is a little too nice sometimes. Like maybe okay, you know how like they call like millennial, or I guess would they be Gen? Yeah, they would be Gen Zers since they're in high school. You know, everyone wants to be hero kind of complex right now. Like they have to be like, oh, like that's misogynistic or blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, not everyone is like that. First of all, like so if someone's a bitch, like they're gonna be a bitch. They're not gonna be caring about saving the environment. And they just like make comments like that. Like a person's like the bitchiest bitch in school, and she's like, oh, but like watch how much tissues you use. Watch how much paper you use. I'm like, she does not care about the environment. Let them be bitches. Okay, that end rant.
Oh my god, I don't have HBO, so I don't think I could watch it live. But what I've been listening to, I did give Willow's album a few listens, and I'm like, oh my god, I love the song that she does with Avril Lavigne and Travis Barker. There's some songs I definitely like. Her sound is definitely unique, and I feel like if I listen to her songs a few more times, I'm like, I think I gotta see her live because I feel like these rock songs are just so different live versus the studio.
Mhm.
So I think I kind of want to see her live. I feel like if she plays at Coachella, then I would probably want to put her on my set list.
Ooh, I could definitely see her be playing at like a festival. Like that has to be coming soon. It's festival seasons are back on, and I mean that would be cool. I would like to see her perform live as well, just to see. I mean, yeah, you're right. With that type of music, it is pretty different when it comes to the studio version.
And you know who else I've been giving a listen to a little bit more of my pop culture time?
Yeah.
Lord.
Oh, it's been a while.
Yes, so she has a new album out, which I have not listened to yet. I've been listening to Pure Heroine, and I'm like, oh, I forgot how good her music is. And then I watched her on Vogue 73 Questions, which I'm like, dang, she's a very like chill person, and at the same time, like I can tell she's very smart and considerate. And then today I just watched her on Hot Ones with Sean Evans. And I'm like, oh my gosh, she's so cool. She handled the heat perfectly fine. And I like the way she talks. I'm like, she's intelligent. I love her. So,
Well, I haven't given a listen to her, but is she still making music right now though?
yeah, she just released a new album. It's called Solar Power. And she actually went to Antarctica. And
Oh,
so she's kind of like inspired about like climate change and like the environment and stuff. And I'm like, that's cool. And then one of the questions for the 73 questions with Vogue was, which artist or celebrity did you meet that you were really starstruck by? And she was like, Taylor. So
Taylor
she's from
Swift.
New Zealand, so she kind of has like that down under Aussie accent.
Oh, really? She has an accent? I mean, well, I really know nothing about her except for like royals.
Hmm.
That's all
Yeah,
I
I
know.
wonder if she's still best friends with Taylor. Like she used to be so, and her Lord's real name is like Elle or Ella.
Oh, that's cute. She looks like an Ella.
So that's who I've been listening to.
And now let's get back to Cheaters Edition.
hmm Okay, your turn.
Okay. One of the biggest scandals is political, if you know what I'm hinting at, and that is Mr. President Bill Clinton. I mean, everyone knows that famous story of I did not have sexual relations with that woman, and the stain found on it was like on her dress, right?
hmm
And yeah, so oh wait, she was a 22-year-old intern. This happened in 1998 while he was in office. That is just nuts to me. I mean, I was a baby when this news came out, but like I feel like this is a story that will like forever come up in like history.
Of course. Even Beyonce has her last name in a song, and I think it's in Partition, where it says Monica
Oh,
Lewinsky all
Lewinsky,
over my
oh,
gown.
yeah.
And Monica Lewinsky, I feel like she cannot erase what she's known for. I don't think anyone can destroy their claim to fame. However, I did watch her TED Talk. And
Yes, I was about to say.
did you watch it too?
Yeah, I watched it too, but I honestly don't remember. It was like a while ago when I watched it.
Yeah, and I don't think she's blaming Bill at all. And I think she talks about like, how do I say it? Like, I feel like it was inevitable because he was her boss. So there's this power dynamic. And not only was he her boss, he was also the president of the United States. And so she's a young intern. She's just easily enamored. She looks up to him. So I think it was just, for me, my word is inevitable that she would fall in love with him or just take a great liking to him. And I think when you just like someone, like, you're gonna do anything that they want to do. But yeah, I feel like that is just very iconic in a terrible way. You don't want to be known for that. But she said in the TED Talk that she's been like in so many rap songs, and like that was a moment for her.
Yeah, I mean, but like good for her for being able to like just make it or step aside from the situation and like take control of it and not let it ruin her. And people will like always like use that against her, but you know, she's ready to move on. And that whole TED talk, I like remember I was just like impressed that she was even doing that.
And regardless of what has happened, Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton remain together to this day. They are still married. And that's kind of like my terrible segue to talk about Beyonce and Jay-Z, because even though they had a cheating scandal, they are still together. They are still married. Your thoughts?
Yeah, so I mean, this definitely gives like she definitely gives another stance like on like when a guy cheats on his woman. Most people are gonna say like leave your man, but I guess she would be an example of like work on your relationship and stay together. And yeah, I mean like we don't know the details, but I mean she made great music out of it, and we love Lemonade so much.
Yeah, when that news broke out, I just remember everyone saying like, how could you cheat on Beyonce? Like, how is she not quote quote enough? Like, is she not perfect? Like, she's everything. She's a hard worker. She's so talented. She is so beautiful. Like, she's the entire package. So, yeah, the question is like, why would Jay-Z do that? And who was it? It's just, that moment was just like, oh my god. I feel like I still don't know how I feel about it, because at the same time I understand they are the ultimate power couple. I think together they're almost worth like 2 billion, and they have 3 kids together. They have an empire together. They're so well known together. I feel like they could take over the hip hop industry, and Jay-Z has so many businesses besides his alcohol. He owns Tidal, and he's a businessman. I feel like she's a businesswoman too with Ivy Park,
Mm-hmm.
and they're just so, I just cannot picture them not being together at this point, even though I feel like the most logical thing is if your partner cheats on you, you shouldn't stay with them.
Yeah.
But I think when your partner is Jay-Z, there's so much more to consider. And also, like, Jay-Z's kind of like her first boyfriend, or like her first serious long-term boyfriend. Because, like,
Years.
because I feel like, of course, she may have dated a few guys in like high school, but then like when she was 16, she was already in Destiny's Child. You know, she probably like never had anything serious, and allegedly she was like a virgin until Jay-Z. So it's just like there's so much to him besides his stage name and stuff that I feel like she has so much attachment to, that I don't know.
Yeah, they were a power couple. Like they are a power couple. Just for some humor, but I remember when her song came out and then she said Rachel was a good hair, and every like a couple people thought it was Rachel Ray, and they were going after freaking chef Rachel Ray, and Rachel Ray's like, yo, like I'm not even part of this. I don't even know them. Like that was so hilarious to me that people automatically thought it was Rachel Ray.
Yes, I remember because I saw on her Instagram there was like bees come everywhere. That's like the hive is crazy.
The
The hive
comment,
is cannot with them.
I'm like, poor Rachel Ray, just like cooking 30-minute meals. Like, what the heck?
That couple is just like oh man, I feel like they do so much too. They're also like activists, and I'm pretty sure they donate a lot of their money too, and they employ so many people. I don't know. I feel like when it comes to them, it's obviously a scandal. It's terrible. It's not a good thing. But for them, like, it doesn't seem like it's a deal breaker.
Everything that they've built, it's worth so much more.
Mhm.
Do you think do you think that thing in the elevator with Solange? Do you think it was about the cheating?
I was just gonna bring up Solange too. I said, shout out to Solange.
Yeah, for sticking up for her sister.
She is doing the true people's work for us.
Of course shit goes down when there's $1 billion in the elevator.
Yes, I believe so. And also, I feel like because they are so private, we really don't know the dynamic between Solange and Jay. So the fact that Beyonce was just like in the corner like this while Solange was going at it on Jay tells
Mm.
me he deserved it.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because
Like,
at
he
the
wasn't
time,
stopping
Beyonce
it.
and Jay-Z were already married. So it's like you wouldn't want someone to hit your significant other, much less your husband. But the fact that she was going at it and she was in the elevator, like minding her own business, like he deserved it.
Yeah, Beyonce was all like, you go, little sis.
Hmm.
Go off. Oh my god, and I just want to say, okay, this is a little quick bit, but because these are all like cheaters and stuff. I mean, most of them being men. And I remember there was this quote that I wrote down when Jesse James cheated on Sandra Bullock, and he said in like, I don't know what he said in his statement. He said that, to be honest, it was, oh, I don't know what he say. He said, I cheated on my wife, but like, guess what? So do millions of other men. Like, you do not represent all the men in the world. Do not make that statement and take off blame on yourself. Like, each person that cheats, that's on them own. On their own selves.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
I feel like this episode is not to normalize cheating at all. That is not our stance. Like we're talking about it because it's terrible. Like it causes so much pain and disruption and not only in the celebrity gossip world but also in your own private life. So like people do not cheat on your significant others. I hate that right now it's quote quote kind of like normalized to be cheated on and then people are like if he cheats on you you should still stay with him. I'm like, "What? Is he Jay-Z?" Like
No, maybe that's a chance to stop and reevaluate.
do you have any more you want to talk about?
No, that's all.
I
That's
have a
all.
controversial one.
You have another one?
I do have a controversial one.
Oh, what?
Mariana Schmonde.
Oh, okay. I mean,
Remember
like,
when the late Naya Rivera wrote that in her book? That she and Big Sean were fighting. And let me remind you, everyone, Big Sean and Naya were engaged at a time. And one time they got into a fight and they didn't speak, so she went back to the house and she said, guess which little girl with a ponytail was sitting on my couch? She's like, I'm not gonna type out her name, but her name rhymes with Mariana Schmonde. Yeah, and Ariana has a lot of like blurry lines with her previous relations too when she dated Nathan Sykes from The Wanted, and then also when she dated Jai Brooks and Mac Miller, like all the way back to the song The Way Times, that era, and then also between Mac Miller and Pete Davidson, like that's kind of blurry lines too. So it's
mhm.
like, oh, I feel like it's just a controversial, unbeknownst scandal because not a lot of people talk about it, and the fans would kill me if I tweeted this out. But I would just say it. I'll just say it out loud.
We are still Ariana Grande fans.
We still love her. I was just playing her uh, concert videos to my voice teacher earlier today, and I was like, I can't believe I saw her live. Like her voice is so powerful. She's so tiny, and I think I do want to see her live again. I do.
Oh yeah,
That was
that
a fun episode. Stay tuned for
was.
episodes where we just talk about solo topics.
And don't forget to subscribe and like the video and comment if you have anything to say to
Yes.
add on.
Let us know what celebrity couple we should talk about, or what celebrity topic we should talk about, or just a brief history of a celebrity's rise to fame.
Oh, yes. Alrighty, well, we will see you for next Tuesday. Bye.
Thank you for listening.